Hello and welcome to this year's episode of Crash Course. Today we're going to talk about the rich history of rap and its roots as a scratch of the record to a popular cultural icon.
Mr. Lunsford, but wasn't rap just started by a bunch of gangsters in a bad part of town?
Oh, me from the past, but Asian. The world of rap is much more diverse than that. And wait, isn't that racist? Starting off in the late 60s, Black and Hispanic youth, many of whom were Caribbean immigrants, started to develop a new sound to express their frustrations with racism and inner-city violence. This new style quickly spread to LA, New Orleans, and Miami, and Chicago, with each location developing its own sounds. Moving into the 70s, a young man, Clive Campbell, starts to invent a new and creative ways to DJ on Cool Herc.
Now check it out. Yeah, rock to the rhythm of the funky vibe, so I can get busy just one more time to the beat, and you don't quit.
Shortly after, DJ Hollywood started inventing rhythmic lyrics over top of popular beats. During the mid-70s, the term hip-hop was coined by Lovebug Starsky. Now, people such as Grandmaster Flash start mixing songs, and this is where we start to see some strong roots of today's poppy hip-hop rap.
Broken glass everywhere. People on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back.
A 13-year-old named DJ Theodore then revolutionized the genre when he started to scratch records, coining the term scratch while also inventing scratching the records for the wiki beats.
For sure, yo, you better act like you know.
Nearing the end of the 70s, MC crews started forming in Harlem. Cool DJ Kurt starts to rap over DJ beats, and this ushers in a new era of more commonly known rap hip-hop. Rap enters the main stage as we enter the 80s, when Kurtis Blow becomes the first real rapper to sign a record deal. Additionally, turntablism is formed and takes over as the new form of DJing. Rap spreads its wings as Houdini, a rap group from 1981, makes the first music rap video.
Oh, I heard of a heart attack or a Big Mac attack, but what's a rap attack? Come here, man. I see I'm going to have to explain it to you like this. See, a rap attack means DJs jamming in the street, MCs rapping to the beat. The people downstairs say they can't sleep.
Oh, it's time for the mystery document? Woo! 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 The rules. Give me the mystery document. The rules of the mystery document are easy. If I guess the document right, I win. If I guess the document wrong, Mr. Yim will tackle me. You ain't really wild, you're a tourist. I be blacking out with the punst. And I freaked it, I made 500,000, then I freaked it. I bought an 87 for the weekend. This ain't what you want, this ain't what you want, this ain't what you want, this ain't what you want. It's obviously, I don't know. I have no idea. Who is it? You don't even know who did it. He doesn't even know who did it. I guess it's King's Dead by Future and Kendrick Lamar. Nobody knows that. Those are rappers that aren't well known. They're basically not... More rappers take the main stage as Run DMC makes a deal with Profile Records. The 90s, one of the richest decades for rap in history. MC Hammer becomes one of the most successful rappers in the early 90s when his music becomes a household name with his hit classic, Can't Touch This.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Dr. Dre established the West Coast gangsta rap as more commercially viable than East Coast rap. Dr. Dre's album developed a new sound as G-Funk, which soon became known as the dominant West Coast hip-hop.
Mr. Lunsford, I told you rap was started by a bunch of gangsters.
The 90s is packed full of relevant rap artists and events, so we'll cover the most influential events of the era, but there's much more examples we don't have time to cover. Biggie Smalls and Tupac, two very well-known rappers from the early 90s, went from thriving friendship to deadly rivalry. In this era, there's a strong rivalry between the West Coast rap and the East Coast rap. Each coast has its own record company, the West with Death Row Records and the East with Bad Boy Records. Tupac gets shot and beaten in 1994 at New York recording studio. Biggie was in the same building, and so Tupac thought Biggie did it, but he didn't. Shortly after, Biggie releases what's perceived to be a diss track called Who Shot Ya?
Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the opsa. Leap hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear sweat.
Oopsie. In retaliation, Tupac dropped Hit 'Em Up, one of the most infamous diss tracks in history, where he calls out Biggie and threatens to kill all his friends and sleep with his mom.
First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on.
Both rappers were killed by the gang rivalry. The early 2000s featured artists such as Jay-Z, Eminem, and Big Pun. These big names continued to grow in popularity, making rap more and more mainstream. In 2002, Eminem elevated himself as a household name when he starred in the movie 8 Mile. 50 Cent drops Wangsta, and it quickly explodes across all the radio and singles charts. Snoop Dogg gets his own MTV show called Doggy Frizzle Televizzle.
You thought that was dope, but MTV wasn't stupid. Cause man, that TV show was straight stupid. No one wants to see it, that's realer than real. Man, people want to see something that they can feel.
All of these events show a transition from rap as an outlet for inner city frustrations to a more mainstream form of media. Fast forwarding to today, we see how rap has become more and more about showing wealth. Many popular songs are about power and strength. Tekashi 6ix9ine is a good example of this. However, artists like early J. Cole and Immortal Technique still rap in story-based format, having deeper themes in each song. We have also seen more and more artists are writing about saving money, such as Macklemore and Lil Dicky. These artists are few, though, as many people like Travis Scott still flame in popularity, and songs continue to be about money, sex, and power. Thank you for watching this year's episode of Crash Course. The script was written and directed and supervised by Eli Lunsford and Kyle Yim. It was watched by Mr. Purley and the rest of his class. And we wrote it, and we directed it, and we produced it, and we recorded it. And it was supervised by Mr. Purley, sort of. Yeah, that was a flawless run.
Watch out now.
Yeah.